The all-new Renault Megane Renault Sport was unveiled during the 2017 Frankfurt Motor Show as it gears up to return and contest a hot hatch segment that has never been more competitive. Here we analyze the new hot Megane in detail to see how it could stack up against key rivals. A key underlying theme of the new Megane RS is one of cutting-edge technology, four-wheel steering, hydraulic bump stops for the suspension and the Renault Sport monitor system are all firsts in the hot hatch field set to be fitted to the car. Staying true to Renault Sport offerings of the past, the choice between the standard and trophy versions of the car continues, the latter running a stiffer cup chassis, limited slip differential and more power. The new Renault Megane RS though departs from tradition in one potentially crucial respect, by offering a dual-clutch transmission for the first time. All versions of the car draw power from a 1.8-liter turbo four-cylinder engine, also found in the forthcoming Alpine A110 sports car. The standard car produces 276 bhp and 288 pounds-foot of torque, 20 bhp and 7 pounds-foot of torque less than the trophy model. Against the hot hatch competition, the Megane looks a little light on power. The Honda Civic Type R, Ford Focus Rs and VW Golf R develop in excess of 305 bhp. Technical highlights include a cylinder head that's been designed in cooperation with Renault's Formula One squad, plus the adoption of a new, faster-acting twin-scroll turbo. The engine also gets the same mirror bore coating that's used in the Nissan GT-R, while there's also a higher capacity, dual-intake air filter. At the other end of the car is a neat exhaust system that aims to blend refinement with a sporty soundtrack without resorting to complicated electrically actuated flaps. Instead there's cleverly designed back box that delivers a muted burble at idle, yet as engine speeds rise the change in pressure causes the gases to bypass the longer silencer tube and head straight for the exit pipe, essentially creating a louder straight-through setup. One shouldn't get too hung up on the numbers though. Some of Volvo's greatest drives have been behind the wheel of Renault Sport cars that looked underpowered on paper but proved to be anything but on the road. That and the Megane's technical armory should compensate for any power-based deficiencies. The four-wheel steering 4-control system is a revised iteration of the one employed by the Megane GT, faster and more precise. It's been paired with an upgraded Perfohub front axle, used on the old car, to maximize the benefits. Discussing the merits of 4Control, chassis engineer, Antoine Frey said steering response is 20% faster than the old Rs. While the engineers have been keen to integrate new technology, they've ensured it's been done as organically as possible to retain the pointy, nose-led feel of Renault Sport, with Frey revealing that, with this new system you shouldn't be able to tell that the car has four-wheel steering. As with the normal 4Control setup, the rear wheels turn in the opposite direction to the fronts and lower speeds to increase agility, before pointing the same way as the fronts to boost high-speed agility and stability. The 4Control setup has also allowed Frey and his team to increase the anti-roll stiffness at the rear without any compromise in ride comfort. As before, the Megane gets a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard. In fact, it's exactly the same transmission as the old cars, with the same gear set. However, there's now the option of a 6-speed EDC twin-clutch setup for the first time. This setup is different to that used in the Clio, as it features a double wet clutches and hydraulic actuators, which combine to deliver shifts that are claimed to be faster and smoother. And while it's heavier than the manual transmission, engineers claim the weight penalty is offset by greater efficiency and fractionally quicker acceleration off the line. The launch control equipped EDC should crack 0 to 62 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. With the two-pedal models, drivers get a choice of 4 shift strategies: comfort, natural, sport and race. Each ramps up the speed of shifts, while in race the transmission will hold ratios, only changing up or down when instructed by the steering column mounted paddles. The same driver modes, plus Perso, which allows you to mix and match your favorite settings, alter the steering weight and throttle response while also loosening the stability control's grip on proceedings. After numerous teasing parades under disguise, we finally glimpsed the hot hatch in the flesh at Frankfurt. Based on the 5-door body steel, there's no 3-door option, it sits square, wearing blistered wheel arches protruding 60mm and 45mm further from the body than the standard car at the front and rear respectively, making for an altogether aggressive appearance. From behind, the center exit exhaust and motorsport aping diffuser support the angrier aesthetic, the latter contributing to aero gains. Both lift and drag have been reduced over the old car. All versions of the Megane get the hydraulic bump stops as standard. These aren't the same as those on the Clio 200, explained Frey. With the Megane's system we can tune the stroke and maximum load. More importantly, the combination of the new bump stops and four-wheel steering means the Megane does without the adaptive dampers that many rival models use. This more straightforward, analog approach has been taken with the limited slip differential, which is a wholly mechanical torsion type. The old car had a simpler GKN item, which can send up to 45% of the engine's torque to a slipping wheel. As Frey points out, we didn't use an electronically controlled unit because we were happy with the setup off the front axle. Also, with the 4 control already included we didn't want too much tech. The limited slip diff is an option that can be specified with the Cup chassis, which also brings 10% stiffer springs and larger 19-inch alloys that are wrapped in 245/35/19 Bridgestone tires. The standard versions get 235/40/18 Continentals. Another option for the Cup are the new cast iron and aluminium composite front discs, which result in a total saving of 3.6 kilograms in unsprung mass. As with the standard setup, these discs feature 355mm diameter and are clamped by Brembo calipers. Another area of the car that's benefited from a thorough overhaul is the RS monitor, which allows drivers to access data from their driving. As with the Clio, you can see real-time performance data on the large 8.7-inch R-Link 2 infotainment screen, but the Megane takes the system a stage further with a number of new features. For starters, you can hook a dashcam or smartphone up to the RS monitor and film laps on a track, which you can download and watch later. There's also the RS replay function, which allows drivers to share their video and data on social media with other RS owners. The new Megane RS is likely to hit UK showrooms early next year, and while prices haven't yet been announced, expect to pay around £30,000 when it does go on sale.